Here we are with Eric Hutchison, founder and president of INBEON Studios. He's running the convention today, and tell us a little bit about what INBEON Studios is and INBEON Convention.
Yeah, well, I really think as many events as we went to and have gone to pretty much all over the country, we started to develop kind of a family of artists, and we wanted an event that was going to be for them. You know, so pretty much everybody here is connected some kind of way from all the shows we did. We pretty much do the East Coast, like New York, Comic Con, Boston. When you do the bigger shows, then a lot of times we get lost. And, you know, so just to have a show for us where we get to be the superstars, we're not thrown in an alley somewhere, you know what I mean? And it's just something that's cool for us.
So this is a more art-centric, focused show.
Yeah.
So anyone who's an artist who wants to just show their work and get a little more closer interaction with the fans.
Yeah.
On a more intimate scale.
It is. It's very intimate. We do have a lot of panels that are based on education. So for the most part, you know, there's a lot of people out there that want to learn how to, you know, publish their own comic book, or, you know, how to just develop their own style with their artwork. So, you know, for the most part, it's figuring out what kind of pieces they need and then connecting with the right kind of people that have done it before.
So it's really for the independent maker.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you got to start somewhere. So, you know, everybody that's worked for anybody like Marvel and DC and that kind of stuff, they had to show that they could produce. They had to show that they were at a level of professionalism and that kind of stuff. And that takes stages to get there. So
how did INBEON Studios start?
It actually started with a buddy of mine. We're from New Orleans, and you know, went through Hurricane Katrina and all that kind of stuff. I lost a lot of friends and family, so it gave me a different perspective on life. And I did IT. I used to be a computer engineer, and even though, you know, it paid the bills, it wasn't what made me happy. So it was good to find you know, a place in doing art and doing that kind of stuff that brought it together. But the hard thing was figuring out how to, you know, eat off it, you know. So that's what we did. So I had a couple of friends of mine. We got together. We started throwing ideas out. Originally, it started off as a graphic design and web design. We had a couple of programmers and that kind of thing. But still, it felt a little flat. It wasn't really what we were into, you know what I mean? So we were doing like this corporate stuff. But then, you know, at the end of the day, we were talking about the new comic movies that came out and that kind of thing. It's like, why don't we make the company about that, about where our heart is? And that's pretty much how I got started.
And what's some of the featured artwork you guys are promoting right now?
Well, I mean, we have a lot of like fan art. So we have a lot of artists. We have about 20-something artists that's part of the studio now. We independently rep them at shows that they might not be able to go to. We have printing services for them and just anything to kind of get their, you know, get their projects out there. And we started independent publishing, and it's all creator owned. So you make the comic, you own the comic. If somebody else, you know, wants to buy it or they want to publish elsewhere, they can go there with no troubles. And but we get them into that platform. We get them on Comixology.
So we're a convention goer. We go and we see the INBEON Studios at a convention, and we might see a different artist at every studio. It's not going to be the same guy.
No.
So
I mean,
it's always a fresh, fresh option.
Yeah, it's a family, and like I said, for the most part, we're always, you know, kind of vibing off of one another. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, especially with creative people, we get a little, you know, a little down sometimes. You know, it's like we either don't have the time, or, you know, we might just get into a creative lull or writer's block or what, you know, whatever it is. So having that synergy where people like kind of feeding off one another is really cool.
Okay, and where can we get INBEON information, day-to-day updates? Oh
yeah, well, INBEON.com pretty much has everything. So that has links to our events that we do. It has a list of all the shows and conventions we go to, and our projects, our independent publishing projects that we put out.
Great, thank you very much.
Appreciate it, man.
Here we are with Ivana.
Yes.
And she's representing Solar City, the official sponsor of INBEON Con. And can you tell us a little bit about what Solar City is?
Sure. The Solar City is the #1 solar provider in the United States. Solar City has over 47% of the solar market in the United States. Correct. We do per year more installments than the 17 other companies combined. We are standing behind the customer 100% of the time, and we do everything from A to Z for the customers.
All right, so I drive around the neighborhood, I see the solar panels, and I'm like, I want this for my house.
Okay.
How much money do you think someone would save by switching to a solar panel?
Right. Well, if we actually think about it, like back in days, you only could have gone solar if you had a whole lot of cash laying around, and now with the Solar City offers, it's a zero out-of-the-pocket option, and we guarantee you cheaper prices than a utility. So it's just switching to solar, you're better off than staying with the distribution.
So instead of dropping, let's say, anywhere between $60 to $150 a month, and that's a bit modest for electricity to Con Ed or LIPA or PSE&G, that money could go toward the solar panels no money down, they set it up, and it's like you're paying your electric bill to just a different company.
Correct.
Okay.
It is pretty much everything kind of stayed the same. You are producing your clean energy from your rooftop, and prices, it's a controlling price program. So what it is from the day one, 20 years from now on, you will know exactly what you're paying for the electricity.
Cool. All right, so I have a neighbor, it's got a lot of trees, they don't want to cut them down.
Okay.
Your guys come in, where would they set up the solar panels if there's nothing but shade on my roof?
Well, that depends. Like, so basically for us to know whether you're qualified or not, one of the steps is to schedule the site survey. What that is one of our professionals will come, they will take a lot of different pictures, and they will measure different hot spots on your roof. So based on that, we will know, like, basically the engineers and designers, they're putting a final word. So if we find your home qualified, even if you do have a lot of shade, it doesn't necessarily mean you're disqualified. We'd just be able maybe to put a smaller system, but this is all case by case. It's a custom design system.
The other thing I always wondered about with the solar panels was they put them on the roof, but every about 10 to 15 years a roof goes bad, it leaks, and you have to get that replaced.
Well, what the Solar City does is we have the repair warranty for the 20 years. So anything that ever happens within the 20 years, if you think that the solar panels did some damage to your roof, we will come and repair it at no cost to you.
But the actual roof repair is just standard with a house. You have the solar panels on. Solar panels are fine.
Correct.
Just normal wear and tear comes in. How do you organize getting your roof replaced and getting the panels taken off temporarily to get the shingles and stuff put back on, and then the panels back on?
So if I understood well, you're saying if your roof eventually develops a problem, you want to do some construction, we do have a small charge of the $499 where we will come, we will take the panels off the roof. Whenever you're done with it, we'll come back and put it back on.
All right, and then in that time, you'd have to go back to these standard electrical services.
That is correct.
And there's a way to switch back and forth between the two?
Correct.
Okay, it's just maybe a flip of the switch. Is it that magical?
It's
That
something
simple?
like that, yeah.
Okay, and where can we get information about how we can get Solar City?
Well, you can either visit us solarcity.com, and there's also a telephone number, and you can also enter your zip code and see if you qualify. We do not provide the Solar City services right in the 5 boroughs, but we're definitely everywhere in the Long Island.
All right, so solarcity.com.
Correct.
Plug in your zip code, and then someone will call you, email you.
Correct.
And then you go from there. Sweet. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
I like to play with toys productions.